know, Harry, I remember this instrument from 20 years ago at the University of Wisconsin, the harmonic cannon. Well, what's the principle here, Harry, on how it's strung and what you do here?
Yeah, well, to begin with, the harmonic cannon is a very ancient term meaning the harmonic law, and the Greeks used it as two fixed bridges and a movable bridge between, which determine scales. I've used it not for determining scales at all, but in a sense, it's like a white canvas to a painter, and the bridges are set up to create patterns of sound.
I see.
And then there are two more of them that, which are not as complicated as this, which I call harmonic cannon 2 and harmonic cannon 3.
Uh-huh. And this plexiglass rod, this as a performing...
That gives me sliding tones, gliding tones, and also pitches that I can't get in the set bridges.
Uh-huh. And the strings are tuned to the same pitch, are they, or...?
Well, approximately, yes.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I don't get a good tone and move the bridge until I do.
I see. Well, Harry, I'm interested in this diamond marimba of yours.
Hey, look. This is also a University of Wisconsin instrument, and I built it more or less as a demonstration, a mathematical demonstration, showing the duality of tone. Actually, it turned out to be a more musical instrument than I had anticipated, but it's designed so that right-hand strokes this way are major.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then on a hexadal basis, and so forth. Left-hand strokes are minor. And then the hexadal basis underneath.
Oh, so yes. Forth. But I remember reading that you had built a Cathara earlier than
Yes, I built one in about the middle 1930s. And the Cathara is it's a lyre-type instrument. Two hollow arms. And this is my second one. I built this one in the early 1950s. And it's a lyre-type instrument, two hollow arms and bass. Traditionally, it was two horns, cow horns, and a tortoiseshell bass. But this one is an elaboration, and it's not an exact copy of anything Greek by any means. It has 12 hexads, making 72 strings in all. And so forth. And then I have on 4 of the hexads, the 2 end resonators, again, Pyrex rods, such as I had on harmonic cannon.
And the huge resonators for each of the, there's 5 of them, aren't there? Or?
There are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6
of them, yes.
2 hexads on each resonator.
It's a magnificent instrument.
My idea was that, well, I call this a bass Cathara. The other one is an alto Cathara.
I see.
This goes down to a cello C.
Well, Harry, this is an instrument that delights my heart because you made it here
in Del Mar 4 years ago.
And what do you call it?
This section I call the gourd tree. The gourds came from National City, and the bells, the temple bells, or the Dharma bells, were given to me by a very fine percussionist up in Los Angeles. And he and I experimented together, and we got the coupling between bell and gourd exactly, so that you blow into this and you get the same tone as you get here. And these are surplus from the Douglas aircraft. They are cones for gas tanks, and they're gongs.
Well, Harry, I remember that you promised to play me a true major third on the chromelodion, and I see the instrument here.
Yeah, sure. This is a converted reed organ. I've rebuilt it and retuned it. But here is the... And now I go to the true triad. And here's the tempered triad within 1/100th of a semitone, which is probably more accurate than most pianos. And this goes down to a low... This is an octave below cello C.
Well, the instrument's fascinating, Harry, but I know that it also represents very specific ideas of yours, and I'd like you to speak to them a little bit.
I like to think of what I'm doing as visual and corporeal, and I want the instruments on stage, and I want them to be beautiful. I also want the musicians to be an active part, a very active part in the whole production. I want the music, for example, their attitude, their posture at the instrument. Especially on the large instruments, it's very important that their footwork is good. And I want them to be as graceful as Muhammad Ali. Actually, maybe I ought to give them some exercise of skipping rope. And I also like them to be in costume and with a headdress or whatever, just to get away from the mundane and the pedestrian.
Well,
Because I'm not suggesting that everyone follow my lead, not by any means. I know that there are many paths to perception. I believe in pluralism, but my direction, where I'm at, is in ancient ritual in modern terms. And in ancient ritual, primitive ritual, everything was involved. The whole village, anything in art, everything in dance, and in music.
Well, Harry, we're going to have an opportunity to hear and see a work that would be somewhat demonstrative of your interests. Was the work Daphne written for stage originally?
No, it was written for a film called Windsong originally. And later I decided that it would make an acceptable dance piece, and I rescored it.
Well, then we'll hear a performance of Daphne.